I'm coming your way first with a really big two-parter. So brace yourself, because I was reading a quote in our press notes about how you looked at this project like an acting masterclass, both in terms of watching what they were doing with their performances, but also with how they carried themselves on set. So can you give me an example of each, a takeaway you saw from somebody else's performance, but then also something someone else did that impressed you in terms of how they set the tone on set?
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, I'm sitting here with Ethan. I think like what I found to be really like beautiful and grounding, like as a human person, is Ethan found ways to entertain himself between setups on the days. So you brought your guitar some days and played, which I thought was so wonderful, because we do end up spending quite a lot of time alone or in our trailers or whatever. And I was like, I'm just going to like binge watch TV. But this is better, making music and, you know.
I always feel like half of being an actor is mood management.
Yes.
You know, just trying to maintain, because all of us can behave anyway, many different ways every one of us can be. Just depends on what mood you're in.
Exactly.
And you kind of have to find a mood or be able to access the mood that's right for the movie.
I feel like mood management is important to any career path out there.
Yeah.
True.
One more follow-up question about a very specific scene. It's the shed scene. I'm watching that scene. It's exceptional, but I'm busy sitting there thinking, what is it like, one, being yelled at by Julia Roberts, but then also what is it like yelling back? Because when you say, stop yelling at me, it cuts through, and I just can't imagine doing that to an icon.
Thank you. Well, the beautiful thing about working with Julia and Ethan and Mahershala is that as soon as the cameras are up, we are there with each other. You know what I mean? Like, I never felt like juniorized or patronized or anything. Like, they were like, yes, we are peers and we're working together. As soon as they call action, like, we're in the world together. So you do what you must do. But to answer your question, if there's any other like actors out there who are watching this, yelling at Julia Roberts is like the best feeling ever. Like, not Julia Roberts, but like sparring, you know, sparring like that. Like, I live for those moments, especially when they're earned. So like our characters, the relationship throughout the movie that brought us to that point, we were like waiting for that moment to get all of those feelings out together. So it was like I mean, literally we wrapped that day and we were like hugging on each other and saying how fun and special it was that we got to go there together.
You made the most of that moment big time. I love that scene. All right, Ethan, for you now, in our notes, you described Clay as somebody who means well and does nothing, which is very accurate and was also making me wonder, what do you think Clay thinks his greatest strength is at the very beginning of the film? And then does it change at the end of the film? Does he find a new source of strength within himself?
Great question. I think he would say at the beginning that he prides himself on being affable. It's something he's really proud of, that he can get along with anybody and that he tries to make the best of every situation. And by the end of the film, he's slowly realizing that he's a Pollyanna, and that if you don't have a spine, if you don't offend anyone, you perhaps don't stand for anything. And that's a very tough realization that perhaps by the end of the film he's at least slightly aware of. I don't know if he grew a spine, but he's aware that he doesn't have one, which is a start.
Very satisfying ending to this movie, but I can't help but want more and know what the next chapter holds for these characters. Before they kick me out of here, one silly disaster movie question for you both. Let's say, real world, there is a blackout like in this movie. You can team up with one leave the world behind co-star. Who do you pick that you think will give you the best chance of surviving the situation?
Oh my gosh. Not to offend anyone else, but like probably you.
Oh, thank you.
Probably you, because I feel like you'd be resourceful and think about stuff.
We would have the best time.
We would have a good time.
Yeah. I don't know. There has to be a point to survival. I always think this, like, the point is not just to live. The point is to have a good time and to actually live for something, right? And I would certainly make sure that we had a good time. I don't know how long we'd live, but the time we had, we would do well.
We would have fun.
And I think you and I would have fun together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful answer. Now I'm completely rethinking all the people in my life that I'm like, you were probably the right partner. Maybe it was someone else now. Yeah. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with your movie. I'm just obsessed with this movie as the book. Congratulations. It is an exceptional adaptation.
Thank you, Carrie.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.